Is it hard for me to talk about autism? Stick around to find out. Hi friends, my name is Claire and this is my channel, Woodshed Theory. Here, I make content about what it is like to live as an adult on the autism spectrum and whatever else feels good to me. So if that sounds good to you, or if you're feeling particularly gracious today, and I hope that you are, please go ahead and click the subscribe button, ring the bell. I almost forgot to mention that I put out videos several times a week. Click the like, click the like. So I've been thinking a lot about why I go through periods where I'm able to make a bunch of autism videos and then I seem to back off, even though the autism videos are getting a lot of attention. If you're new here, I'm a 30-something-year-old lady who is late diagnosed autistic, and when I was 31, I started this channel and I started talking about my life on the spectrum. And it has been an amazing journey. It's not ending. Don't worry about that. I've just been thinking about why I kind of like back off and do other videos, and I just don't do autism videos. Yes, as I've mentioned before, I want to show you special interests and different parts of my life as an autistic person. But something that I've been thinking a lot about lately is it's hard. It's hard to talk about it all the time. And I can definitely see why some of my counterparts don't put out as many videos, because it is, as a late diagnosed person, taxing on me. And I'm scared to talk about this because I don't want to seem or sound ungrateful. I love what I'm doing and I love making autism videos, but I guess I didn't realize, and I guess this is why I wanted to talk about it. Autistic people are naturally vulnerable people. We naturally share more than we should. We're more trusting than we should be. And that just all comes down to our wiring as neurodiverse people. As I talk more and more openly about my autistic experience, I have heard things like, you're very brave to talk about it. It's so amazing that you're open and willing to talk about it. I couldn't talk about it. I won't talk about it. And I absolutely see why people maybe wouldn't do that, because it is a really, I hope I explain myself well, guys. I hope so. It's a really traumatic thing to go through, a late autism diagnosis. If you've been here for any length of time, you know that I don't like to just talk about the good parts of autism. I want to talk about all aspects, and some things are just hard. And a late diagnosis is hard. It has provided me with some of the most wonderful insight, and in many ways it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me. It's changed my life. But I'm constantly reflecting about my life and about things that have happened, and I constantly I'm having these little flashbacks of things that now I know was me being autistic and my behavior as an autistic person. And I'm processing that now as opposed to in the past. And that is hard. I haven't been processing as I'm going along. I'm just processing 30 some years of experiences now. Looking back at that, it is emotionally taxing. And I don't want to stop making videos. I like talking about autism. I like talking about myself. But it also is like giving a piece of myself. It's every time I make an autism video, it's a level of introspection that I haven't really reached before, which is good for my personal growth. But sometimes I just need a little pause. I need to slow down a bit because I need to let myself catch up to the growth that I'm having. I hope I'm making sense, guys. I need to let myself catch up and process the things that I'm sharing with you, because that is what I'm trying to do anyway, but it just takes me a little bit longer. And a big reason for that is because I'm on the autism spectrum. It takes me longer to process things. Talking about it outwardly, maybe it's not as easy. Maybe that's a good way to put it. Talking about autism outwardly as an autistic person, I thought it would be easier for me than it is. I enjoy doing it, but I don't think I anticipated how deep the rabbit hole goes. I don't think I anticipated how deeply autism affects my life and how it is me and I am it. I am a different neurotype and it colors everything in my life. I'm processing some of the deep topics that we've combated on this channel. It's both wonderful and I'm so glad that we do it, but I have to remind myself that I'm still healing too. I need to pace myself at what feels comfortable and give myself some time to process. Another thing I've been thinking about is that I also, because of my late term diagnosis, I feel like I don't have the authority to speak on things. Or I'm not a doctor, so I don't have the authority to speak on things. That somehow, because my diagnosis was later, it's a little less. Because I'm late to the table, maybe I shouldn't speak as much. I hope that I'm making sense. My fear is that it's going to come off as I'm ungrateful for my YouTube opportunity and that I am complaining about the work I'm doing. And I don't want that to be what I'm talking about at all. I just want to share my thoughts and feelings with you about, I've just been thinking why am I not able to keep up with the autism content so quickly? And a lot of that has to do with changing special interests, and I'm happy to share that. But I've been sitting and thinking more about the emotional aspect of how that it has changed me. Even something I was thinking about was how I don't always watch other autism channels because it is really hard to face yourself. And it's not an easy thing to do to look in a mirror. And some of the autism channels that I watch were so similar. And they point out things to me about my own behavior that maybe I wasn't ready to see yet, or that I really hadn't realized. Anyway, so I commend you guys for watching me, because I know it's not always easy to look in the mirror and say, okay, that's me. And even when I'm filming my own videos, it's self-reflection. It's like a picture of me, and I have to edit it. So I'm just calling for myself to be kinder to myself. I've just been thinking recently about my life, and I think I come to a place where I'm okay, this is where I'm at in my diagnosis journey. I feel confident about it. I feel good about it. And I do. But then something will just pop up in my mind. And I'm just immediately, I'm taken back to, oh, I really didn't fit in growing up. I was really struggling socially. Even yesterday, I was thinking about a time in in middle school, high school, where I had to use the restroom. And it was kind of one of those hall pass dealies where you just got up without asking, maybe, if I remember correctly, and you took the hall pass and you went to the restroom and you took it back. Well, when I got up, I was not thinking about what was happening in the classroom. I just thought, I have to use the restroom, I'm gonna go. But I walked right in front of my teacher to get to the pass without really, I didn't look at her. I didn't regard that she was speaking or talking. I just like walked right in front of her, and to her, it was super rude. And I totally get it now. But I was so confused as to why she thought it was rude. I wasn't even thinking about her. Obviously, that was the rude part, right? Like I just walked in front of her while she was trying to teach a class and she got upset. When I think about stuff like that, I'm just taken back to this, like, oh, you're speaking a different language than other people, and you don't fit in this world. And you didn't. Even when you thought you fit, you weren't fitting. And I'm just always reminded of things like that about pre-diagnosis me. I hope that I wanted to do this video and I wanted to talk about how I'm feeling because I am hoping that other people feel the same and understand. Even if you don't have a YouTube channel and you're not public about it, I'm not in any way saying that I don't like being autistic. I love being autistic. It's who I am. I just also think it's important to look at all aspects, all of this trauma and baggage that I went through as an undiagnosed person, even as a diagnosed person, and learn more about myself. It's not always going to be easy. It's not always going to be like the great things about autism, like, oh, well, now that I know that I can hyperfixate, or that I hyperfixate and I can spot details, like I could use these things to my advantage, and that's amazing. Yes, check that box. It's awesome. But when you slip up socially, or you remember these things that happened to you as a child, yeah, focusing on those things is hard. And I don't think that I have to say that that all of those memories are good memories, or that everything I'm experiencing and feeling are positive things. They're not. I can see where I want to make autism videos and I hesitate, or I can see where I'm still processing some of the things that I've talked about. Solution, I want to keep making videos, but I think now that I've realized that this is what's happening, where like I do these like ebbs and flows of like I'm able to talk about it and it's fine, I just want to be more aware of how I'm feeling and be okay with, I'm okay with my new schedule. I'm okay with talking about autism or not talking about it, making all different kinds of content. I have autism content that I'm working on now, as I mentioned. But is it hard to talk about being on the spectrum? Sometimes, yes. Even if it's just to a camera, even if I'm just shouting out into the void, I'm not complaining. I love, 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 love my little small business that I'm creating, my YouTube life. I love it. But I'm just in a constant state of becoming more myself and understanding myself better, which I'm so grateful for. And I wanted to share those feelings with you. I wanted to share that sometimes it's hard to watch myself, to watch other people, to think about these topics that are hard for me to think about. Not all of the memories I have about autism are positive. So many of the memories are positive, and I'm grateful. But I want to talk about all of it. I want to talk about that there's been good things and that there's also been bad things. And I'm just happy to have you on the journey with me. And I think that maybe talking about the negative things, not dwelling on them, but making sure we're talking about them, is just as important, if not as important, as talking about the positive things. Because if you're actually an autistic person and you think that there are no negative things, I mean, maybe there aren't for you. Cool. But that's just not my life. I hope you have a wonderful day. In the comments, if you could tell me if you understand a little bit about how I'm feeling. Am I completely off base? Am I a weirdo? I mean, I'm a weirdo. But yeah, I just want to share with you how I'm feeling. And I thank you for listening. and I hope that you understand where I'm coming from. There's just been so many times recently I've wanted to sit down and like film an autism video, and then I hesitated, and this is why. So more autism videos coming soon. I love making them. Just understand where I'm at. Thank you. I will see you next time. I love you guys very much. Bye, guys.